To my computer. Hello, ladies. We are so excited that you get to join us. I have Taylor here with me. Taylor, how are you doing?
I am good. I'm so excited.
Yay! So, Taylor, what about, I know I love you, and I know that a lot of women love you as well, but how about if you tell us a little bit about you and your story for those of the ladies that are joining us that don't know you?
Awesome. So as you said, I'm Taylor Manning, and basically what I do is I help millennials build their business and scale it and do things that they didn't even realize were possible and accomplish epic things. So the reason why I do that is because I'm actually only 21. I am not going to be able to say that much longer. I'll be 22 in May, which is going to be so sad because I finally put my age out in front of everybody. But that's kind of not where my story begins, but where this piece of my story begins is I started coaching when I was just 20. And my biggest thing was that if people find out it was this fear I had in my head. If people find out my age, they're not going to hire me or like a 20-year-old. No. So I never lied about my age, I promise, but I never put it out there. And there was it's one of those things when you have a fear, it comes up all the time, right? So people are always asking my age. I'm stuttering to get it out there. I was just so afraid of it. And basically a little less than a year ago, I just put my age out there and fully embraced it. Actually my 21st birthday, I was like, wow, look at how much I've accomplished since only being 21. And I made this huge list, and that's kind of my announcement. And I literally, even though that post was very positive, I was literally crying and just so afraid to post it and put it out there because I was like, this is either going to be so good or so bad. Part of me was like, this literally could ruin everything. But yeah, that's what really inspires me to help other millennials and especially young 20-somethings is really, really where my heart is. Yeah. Just because when I started, I had amazing mentors, but it just seemed like everyone was so much older. And one thing I wondered was am I a fraud for trying to be a coach at 20? Or should I really, maybe it's the right thing to do to wait 5, maybe 10 more years. That literally crossed my mind. Maybe I can't share this. Maybe I am too young. So I don't know if I missed anything, but that's really where I'm at now and how I got here.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So is that when you, after that post, was that when you decided to go for millennials? Because I remember you didn't used to just
yeah. So that wasn't, it was shortly after that when I realized I already realized this, but it was I've got to put my age out there first before I can really, really own this. And right after that, I signed more clients. I mean, before that, I had only signed 3 or 4 clients ever. That's how I know I was 5 months into my business. Mm-hmm. And that month I signed literally that week, I signed 6 clients in a week. Without even trying. I had so many people that were oh my gosh, I've been thinking about working with you. And I just love what you do. And that post really just, I wasn't even promoting anything. You're I need to work with you. And so funny enough, a lot of those women were not in their 20s and that was totally fine. And they were, I even had women 40 and 50 years old reaching out to me. That was so inspiring. And you've shown me how much farther I should be. Not that I showed them that they wasted time, but I just showed them there is no excuse. It's possible. Yes. Which was super cool. But a few months after that, I really forget the exact timing, but that's when I decided to change my group name, which was already a few thousand people, and really shift the branding and work pretty much exclusively with millennials.
Which I love. I love what you've done. So I have a lot more questions about how raw you are and all of that, but let's have a little bit of fun. I have a few questions so that we can get to know you a little more. So, all right, let's see what you got. So first question, what's your favorite TV show?
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this, but my favorite TV show ever is Grey's Anatomy.
All right, favorite singer?
Oh man, I have a really special place in my heart for Taylor Swift, I'm not gonna lie.
You're my girl. All right. So how about your favorite food?
I'm an ice cream lover. I will eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So cool. All right. I need to go back. So what's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Oh, gosh. Why can't I think of anything? I think like Teardrops on My Guitar, like so old, but like I was like barely a high schooler, like totally into that, like thinking that was all about my love life.
Cool. So what did you say about food? What's your favorite food?
Ice cream.
Ice cream. And then your favorite social media platform. I think I can answer this one, but go ahead. Everybody have said Facebook. So, and then what makes you smile?
You. My people. I smile a lot. People always joke that I'm smiling and I laugh a lot.
That's so awesome. And then don't you have a dog?
Yes.
You have a dog? Cool. Awesome. And you have sisters. Are you the oldest one?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of 5 kids.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in your posts, I can see, I'm an older sister too. I can see that you're protective, like you're bringing them along and like all of that. So awesome. So that's so cool. I wonder if any of the women are also wanting to know, how did you move? Because I know a little bit about your background with marketing and stuff. What made you decide become an online coach and start a business?
Yeah.
You can talk to us a little bit about that.
So for the people who don't know me super well, how I got started was in college. I watched a YouTube video about how to make money online. And so I tried a few things. I tried Upwork, which is for freelancing, and basically that went well. But I also tried other things. I tried like selling stuff. I tried to like tutor. I tried a couple other freelancing sites, but Upwork, I don't know who's heard of it or not, but basically you can sell any type of online service on there. It's super popular for designers and VAs and copywriters and that sort of work. That just took off for me really fast. Literally the day I signed up, I had my first client, and that was to schedule pre-written tweets into Twitter using Hootsuite, which I told them I knew how to use. I had never heard of it before. But I'm smart. I could figure it out. And so, yeah. And actually,
it sounds so much like you. That's so awesome. All right.
I actually applied for that job and I accepted it for less than minimum wage, which is so stupid because you have to pay taxes on that, and I wasn't getting paid minimum wage. But I let the guy know that, and we increased my wage like 80 cents. It's like, I have to at least get paid minimum wage. Like, I can't do it if that's like, if we can't get there, like it just doesn't feel right. Like, had to have that conversation. But I did that for a few years, like 2 years. And I started progressively kind of moving over to Facebook groups and getting clients that way. And I was able to really raise my rates. Work with higher end clients. I was constantly learning. So right before I became a coach, I was like becoming like the Facebook ads expert. Like everybody knew me for Facebook ads. It seemed like that's still out there. But basically what was happening was I had all these clients. I was doing any type of work, any type of online work. I'd be your VA, I'd be your copywriter, I'd be your designer, it didn't matter. But I just realized like I had all these clients where they were like asking to get on the phone with me like at random, and like they would have like these breakdowns and they just had to jump on the phone and talk it out with me. And I was doing so much strategy work that when I found out about this coaching thing, that's what I do.
No secret.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I do with my clients. And actually, I haven't really shared this story much, but the thing that really happened right after I hired my coach, and I was still at the point where it's like, you know what, maybe I just want to scale this business. Like I still thought like, I'm not really ready to be a coach. I can't do that at my age and blah, 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 blah. But I would love to be able to charge more and do higher end services and be more like niche down and whatever. I had this one client who was paying me, I think $20 an hour. And she was like, I need to talk to you really quick on Skype. It was like 6:30. My boyfriend was about to be home. We were going to go out. Like, I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll talk to you for 10 minutes. The call ended up going for 2 hours. And when I invoiced her for it, she wasn't very happy. Like, she didn't think that she needed to pay for that. And so that made me realize, even though she was so happy with the call, she got so much out of it, we planned so much stuff out that was successful, just made me realize, like, I don't know if I can put my age out there, but I know I can be a coach. Like, I know I can do this.
So awesome. And so in this process, I remember you, like the first time you stood out to me was in a Facebook group, and you posted something about your weekly content. It was like at least a year ago. And You were like, so this is my thing, and then if you want more, you can come and see the template at my Facebook group. You had like 1,000 people sign up like within a week. Tell me more about that strategy. Women, please pay attention.
I grew my Facebook group by 1,000 people, actually more than that, in 40 hours using other groups. And I put out this was right as I was scaling my business. So I wasn't full-time coaching, but I was charging a lot more for my services, and I had signed my first coaching client, and I had an $8,000 month, which was huge because 2 months ago I barely made a little bit over $2,000, and it was such a struggle, and I was so stressed. So I was getting all of my clients at the time from Facebook groups, and I just put that out there. Like, I always tell people, like, you just have to be bold. You have to share your results. There's even part of me that was like, gosh, is this misleading? Like, it's only my first $8,000 month. What if I can't keep it up? What if everything just comes crashing down all of a sudden? Like, my clients are offended, whatever. But you have to share your results. So I did. And I told people, like, I made $8,000. I know the whole post is memorized. I made $8,000 this month posting in Facebook groups. Want to know how I did it? I posted 3 times a day in 3 to 5 Facebook groups. Yes, it can get hectic, but I made the spreadsheet for you to follow along exactly what I did. Comment below, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And people loved it. But literally, like, I've seen so many other people kind of try to do that approach or share similar freebies. And the thing is I was just really bold with, like, my results. And I was always like that. Like, every little win that I had, I would share. And so I think that's a big piece of it.
Yeah, and I think it goes to talk about innovation too, because at the time no one was doing sharing their daily post or sharing their strategy around that. So I remember that I loved it, and I saw a lot of women joining as well.
And that was so long ago. That was over a year ago now. But that's true. Like, that was one of the first ladder posts that I had really seen. I kind of made that up. Maybe I had seen it somewhere else. I'm not saying that's my strategy, but I didn't see it a lot. And the other thing is that spreadsheet I made was literally a spreadsheet I made for myself, because I was like, I gotta get this organized. Like, this is working, but it's so hectic. Like, what I said was really true. I wasn't trying to use that language that everyone else seemed to be using. Like, and when I was making the spreadsheet, I was like, wow, some other people might really like this. And then I put one post out and I did okay. And I was like, oh, if I made this post better and like juicier, it'd really do well. And so look at the stuff that you're doing for yourself and see, like, how can you give that to your people? Like, sometimes we try to force that stuff and like really force it to work, and then it doesn't,
Yeah. And I also love like what you're saying, because sometimes we just try to make something up, and something that we think that has to be so hard. And in your case, you just use what you were using, which built a lot of know, like, and trust, and position you with an authority right away in that area. So I love that. Great. Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about your journey then to getting booked. You're saying you had a few clients, had this 8K month and all of that. How did you continue through that process to getting booked?
So in 2016, I signed my first client in January. I signed one in February. I signed one in March. Okay. And then in April, I signed no coaching clients. And so when May came around, that's when I put out that post about my age. I had fixed a lot of these like wonky relationships I had going on in my life. And I really took inspired action. Mm-hmm. And so basically the two things that really did it was I put my age out there. So my biggest fear, my biggest like secret at the time, like that's really what it felt like, was like I had this big secret. Yeah. And I put that out there. I started being way more authentic because I wasn't even sharing my age. I was really trying to play it off like I was so much older and responsible and had my stuff together, which wasn't the case. And then,
and your pictures too, like your pictures look older.
Yeah. No, I seriously told my photographer, like, I work with women, they're like 30s, 40s, sometimes even older. So literally what I told her, like, I could probably find it. I need to look mature.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah, I need to look much older. I literally said that. And I need to look like I have my shiz together. Like, I need to look like what I'm doing.
Oh my God.
I got like a blowout. I got makeup done. I wore heels, which I don't ever wear. I wore this tight black dress. Yeah, no.
Awesome. I'm glad that we got to meet the real Taylor.
Yeah. So that happened. And then the other piece of getting booked for me in May, because that's when I literally booked myself out in 1 month. So literally April, no clients. And then May, I don't have the exact number, but I was overbooked like the whole year after May. And the other thing is I got this inspiration at midnight, which I never stay up that late. Surprised. I never stay up that late. I was on a train coming from New York City with my dad, which was one of the relationships that I like just fixed, which is a whole other story. But I got this inspiration, like, it was so random. It was just, I just thought of a 6-week program with 2 calls per week. I had this price in my head, which I think at the time was $1,200, and, you know, unlimited support. And like, so I think we try to create programs based off what we see. And yeah, a lot of the coaching programs have calls every week and unlimited support in between, or coaching, or what, maybe not all, but a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I started thinking of it as like, imagine like they get to talk to me like in the beginning of the week and then towards the end, and it gets them over this slump. And I was like, and then they can email me and get help with this, 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 and this. And here's all the stuff that could come up. And here's the like the big 6 modules we could go over. And I was so pumped up about it. I literally shared a screenshot of what I typed up at midnight on a notes app on my phone. And I literally think that so many people are like, is that program just so much easier to sell? And I don't really think that's the case. I just think it was that I was so excited about it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't afraid. Literally, I was like, this is one of the best programs out there right now. Like, and this is definitely the best thing I've ever come out with. Yeah. And I really felt like that was true. I felt like I didn't know of another program that had more support than that. And so I was confident. And I was so excited. Like, I get to be the person that gives someone this much support and can get them from this point to this point. So I think it was just inspiration, and also like really feeling excited, because I think the excitement gives you the confidence.
Yeah. I think it's Gary Vee that says passion is contagious.
Yes.
There's no way to fake that. I love that. So from that point on, was that when you were then fully booked for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So, Taylor, I know that you are very honest about like your struggles and the fears and stuff, but for women that don't know you that much yet, or even the ones that do, but that might have not heard, what were some of like the biggest blocks? You're talking about relationships that you had to clean up, things that you had to take care of. Like, what did you have to work through emotionally to be able to get to a place where you were like, I'm ready to align this hustle and just go for it?
Yeah, one thing a lot of people don't realize is that while I've always had help with my strategy, I still work with my very first coach, and she's just given me a lot of emotional support. So in the beginning, I hired her because I had no clue how to be a coach, and she taught me that. But for the past, that was November of 2015 when I first hired her, and I've never gone a day without working with her. And it's not because she has this multi-million-dollar business that I want, and she has all these secret strategies that I want to learn. It's just because like even just having that mindset support and that emotional support, and now what's so funny is she's technically a relationship coach, so she helps me a little bit with that. But she's helped me with all the relationships in my life. So that's been huge. And my point of sharing that with you is that I don't know exactly how to kind of explain it, but I'm kind of in this process too of like discovering a little bit more about like what is holding me back and what it really is all about. And just my personality, like a lot of people wouldn't really know this, is like I'm super shy. I'm super introverted.
No way.
And I have confidence online. Yeah. And I actually think a lot of people can kind of secretly relate to this. I think that's why I was so attracted to the online space. And even before I started my business, like I love social media. Like it's kind of like secret me, like, and you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think others can relate. Yeah, I think others can relate to that. But like in my personal life, like people asking me what I did and they're like questioning me, really just gave me anxiety, like really bad. And it still sometimes does. Like I still, like to my family and people that are close to me, they really get like, this is like legit and I'm pretty badass. So this is what I do. Like, but even when I meet new people, they're like, oh, you know, where do you work? What do you do? I'm like, oh, I just work from home. I do marketing. And then like and then they ask me questions, I get super nervous. Like I still struggle with confidence. I think that's a big thing. And really owning who I am. And
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. Still, I mean, literally I this is not to brag, but in January I made like a couple $100s short of $60,000 in cash in a month. And just last month, I got all like panicky about somebody asking me about my business and how successful it was. And like, I just didn't want to own up to it. And I didn't want to put myself out there, and I didn't feel good enough. So like that still comes up, and it's still important. It's really important for me and probably everyone to work through. Because that shows up in your business. If you really can't own it outside of your business, it's going to be really hard to 100% own it. So it's kind of hard to explain.
Yeah.
But
no, that was perfect. Yeah, that was perfect. So do you find, this is something that I find, and a lot of the women that I have been interviewing are saying the same thing, like there's this new level of like blocks you have to move through and things you have to work through every time you're growing. So it's not like that you hired a coach, you're good to go, and you just explode every time you're moving on. Do you find that with yourself?
Yeah. And, you know, we think it's so hard too, because then you hear all these people telling you like how you should run your business, and people are constantly asking me how much I work and what my profit is, like how much of the money is really mine, if it's in cash or sales. And you just get like really nervous of like, am I even teaching the right things? Am I doing it right? Is it good enough? Like even if I have an 80K launch, I'm like, did I really do it right? Did I keep enough of it for myself? Did I work too much? Like you have that come up. So that's like that whole worrying what other people think, not owning it. Yeah. And it's also, you still do have to work through money blocks and all sorts of blocks, because my expenses are higher, and I do want this business to be really successful, but I want to have a team. I want to have the nice programs and stuff to like make it easier and fancy. And I like that. And I want to have the coaches that I want to work with, and that adds up. And, you know, just the other month I had to work through some of these blocks of like, oh my God, my profit margin is super good, but my expenses are high. Like they're way more than they were more than I ever thought I would even be making a month, you know, like, so working through that and like not chickening out. I always want to chicken out.
So consistently investment in yourself and in your business has been key to going. I love that. So another thing that we are talking about is about the blocks we see women in our communities experiencing. You know this, even as the process that I was inviting you and the other women, how I feel that there's this secret women are thinking that the women that are having success have versus what they have. And just like what you said, we don't necessarily have like our family members and stuff who know exactly how to grow an online business. So we need that kind of support. Would you mind talking about what are some of the blogs or mistakes you see women doing online, and if you have a few tips of how can they overcome those?
Man, I think the biggest mistake, and this is kind of an epiphany I'm having right now, because I've had a lot of clients, and I've had a lot of clients do really huge things. Yeah. And I've been thinking about, and there's a lot of people that talk about that whole, I don't know the exact fact, but like how the percentage of businesses that fail and in the beginning. And I really think that the investment is a big piece. And if you don't know how to market yourself, you suck at sales, and you don't have any clarity, it's very hard to grow your business. And if you're in that place, you should definitely get someone to help you. But other than that, I think the biggest thing is the people I know, including myself, that have made it or are doing really well and that you're probably like admiring, like we just kept going. Like that's literally it. I mean, I've had a lot of coaches who are so successful and a lot of friends who are super successful, and I've seen all of us struggle and have things flop. Like you don't see it, but like even I still have stuff flop. Like I still have programs where it's like, oh, like I just kind of put some teasers out for something last week, and I got like one person even slightly interested just begging for a payment plan. It's like, all right, I'm not feeling that. Like I'm just gonna move on. But so many people in the beginning, they're like, oh, I put this out, I built this course, nobody's booking calls, and I think the percentage is probably most of that percentage is probably just people who kind of quit. You know, I don't really think it's the people that put in the work and get the help that they need. I think those are the people that succeed. I think once you do those couple of things where if you refuse to give up, you're not going to fail. I don't know how long it's going to take you to get where you want to go, but if you just keep going and you keep reaching out for the help that you need in one way or another, you really can't fail. I mean, that's what I've been thinking about that a lot actually the past few weeks.
Oh my gosh, that's so good. I think I heard Melissa Farr the other day. She was saying something. We're talking about interviewing her after the series. And one of the things she was saying was how she has failed more time than she has succeeded, even in that journey of making that 7-figure in 1 year.
I love her story. And she's actually one of the people who really inspired me, because I got to this point in my business where it was like, I just felt like I had invested so much money. I think we've all invested a few times. We've been there gosh, I'm never gonna be done. That's what it starts to feel like at a certain point. And that's just a block that you have to get over. But Mel has inspired me so much, because she just has this story of trying all these businesses, having all these flops, probably embarrassing herself one too many times, borrowing money, spending a ton of money. And one thing I always think about her, because she's one of my mentors, is just it's so worth it now. That's not, I'm sure she has her own stuff that she's got to work through, but those first couple of businesses that flopped, now that she's at the end, she's still growing, but now that she's there, she just probably, that's she had to go through that. She had to learn that stuff. I just look at that and I'm it's worth it when you get there, when you get wherever you personally want to be, because we all have different goals, but it's a part of the journey. And eventually, if you keep going, if you give up, then that stuff that you look back on is going to suck. But if you don't, it's going to be so worth it.
And I was telling one of my clients the other day how that actually becomes your advantage point. All that stuff she did wrong, it's why you were attracted to her and what I'm attracted to her. So if you had to start from zero, so let's say you have to start from zero this month, what would be 3 things you would focus on to get booked?
So, okay, I think that the first thing is I know that I would just hustle a little bit harder on visibility.
Okay.
Imagine that you have 0 followers, no one in your group, no one on your list. I would find some groups still. I know people always ask, are groups still good? Groups. And I would definitely be on Instagram, and I'd probably run some ads, and I would just get visible, as visible as I could be. And the second piece of that, which is kind of 2 in 1, is I would really take a good look at what can I not promise, but what can I promise somebody? What am I good at? What results do I have? I think a huge excuse I hear people saying is I have no results. And so the 2 things you need to look at is, 1, are you actually going after what your passion and what you're good at is right now? Or are you chasing the money? And 2, I got my own results. So I was a freelancer. I had a lot of clients. I couldn't say their names. I had all these things where I wasn't even really supposed to say who I was working with, and I couldn't take credit.
Yeah.
I still talked about what I did. I didn't put their names out. I still I'll put a testimonial out there if I need to without the person's name. If I 100% know that I'm being honest and I'm not taking the credit, I'm just saying what I helped with. You just have to be bold. So I would boldly look at what I'm good at and what I can put out there to impress people. I am just being honest.
Do you find that a lot of women, for some reason, are trying to also jump, or thinking there's this scarcity mentality that I find, thinking that you have to become a business coach to be able to make money as a coach? That's something that I'm seeing a lot. And instead of looking at, okay, so if I want to be a business coach, what am I so good at? What is that thing I'm here to do that I could offer people that are building their businesses? There would be so much success around that, just like you said, rather than keeping it general. So is that one of the things that you're talking about?
Yeah, I even think that unless you are and I don't mean to offend anybody with this, but I think you're better off getting super specific unless you have this huge business building background. Then call yourself a business coach, because that is your niche. But if not, I called myself a business coach probably 6 months ago for a couple of weeks, and it just didn't sit right. First of all, your title it doesn't matter. I changed it. I just retyped it on my website. But I went with marketing strategist because that's what I did. And I wasn't the top marketing strategist in the world or anything, but I had done a lot of work, and I could help you with, if you knew nothing about webinars, if you knew nothing about social media, if you knew nothing about email marketing, I could help you with that. And I didn't promise money or big results. I just promised I can help you. One of my signature lines, which is totally not original, was I can help you stop wanting to throw your computer out the window. I just went with that because I knew all the technology. I had used every scheduler out there, every webinar platform that. And so if you have a background in sales, go with that. There's a lot of women who are starting their business who've been therapists, counselors, maybe you're good with mindset or whatever you're good at. If you if you want to start off being in the health, wellness, well-being, go for it. Like, there's a market for all of that. And everyone else, it's like funny because everyone else is good at their certain things, and then they need a specialist or a couple specialists to help them fill in the gaps. Like, I've had so much luck hiring people who have such specific focuses because like, I'm like, I know I need help with sales. Okay, hire a sales coach or whatever they're calling themselves and get that help, fill in the gap, move on. Like, I think that's totally fine. I think so many people are like, oh, I want to be a business coach and that's what I want to be. And then they're like, but I don't have any results. Like, you do have results, maybe not in business coaching or businesses, but what about the fact that you were in sales for 20 years or the fact that you've manifested all this stuff or that, you know, you have this amazing health journey? Like, everyone has something. We just look over it because we never think that it's good enough.
I couldn't say it better. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Taylor, how could people get help from you if they want your support, if they are millennials and they're ready to not throw their computer out the window? What can they do?
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not the technology expert anymore.
Yeah, go ahead.
Away from it. But the best place to find me if you want to learn about hitting huge goals in your business, you're ready to scale, or if you just want to connect with other millennials who are awesome, I like to send everyone to my Facebook group. So it's Ambitious Millennial Entrepreneurs, or you can quickly find it at facebook.com/groups/Taylor Manning.
I love that. Taylor, so thank you so much for your time. Do you have anything else that you want to tell these women before we go?
I think the ending note is you are good enough. Just keep going.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Of course. Thank you.
I'm so excited.